every part of it. I'm in the mirror like, listen. Stop, why you freaking out? Don't you know he only wins? Check this.
Artifacts Radio, we are here with Allison Eide, our Artist of the Month for April. DJ Kid here with you as well. And how are you doing, Allison?
I am so well. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and spend the next, 15, 20 minutes together talking about stuff. I hope you guys, hope you are okay with some hardball answers. I'm just playing with you, actually. 100%. All right. So Allison Eide is how you say your name. We cleared that up right before we got going. How, where, and why did you start doing music? Can you give us kind of the background of who you are, where you came from, and why you're doing it?
Absolutely. I grew up / still live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So big Northern growl. I actually was born in Jesus loving family, but a music family and sports family. These were our worlds. My dad was an artist, singer, songwriter, and I was probably like 6 or 7 years old when I remember encountering the Lord. I was at my dad's concert and seeing what he did, and the Lord was like, I'm calling you to do the same. And I was dreaming of being an artist literally since I was then. And so my dad saw my love for that, and I loved sports. I played basketball. So he kind of paved a way for me to like blossom in both of those things. He took me on the road. I heard him perform and sing. He eventually, like when I was in middle school, high school, brought me on stage, and we got to do some of that together, make some music together. And he just allowed me to fall in love with it, and it became my dream to be an artist someday. Ended up going to play college basketball, so I paused traveling for music in that time, wrote a lot of songs. It was a really roller coaster journey with my mental health and finding the Lord in that mess. But once I graduated was when I decided to release my first song in just literally Instagram and TikTok. I just like posted it a bunch, and then one day it went viral, and everything snowballed after that, and here we are today. So that's the timeline. I think it was perfect timing how the Lord orchestrated it for a lot of reasons, but I'm so grateful I get to do it now. It's my favorite thing.
I went on tour with my dad when I was like 5 or 6 as well, and we toured the West Coast with a group that he was in. And it's like my earliest memories of sleeping in the back of the bus and being in big old stadiums. And I got the bug at that point in time. So what we like to say is I got bit at that point in time. And my whole life has been about music, about touring, about music production and radio, you know, like just anything that I can get my hands on. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We share a similar story. So AJ did have a question. She actually sent me this question. She's like, hey, you two have the same story in that aspect, growing up with your dad doing music and worship and stuff like that. For me, I found myself in life, like at times becoming jaded by the ministry, the religion of church, I guess you could say. Have you ever found yourself in that way? And then my dad, I would go to my dad and he would help encourage me and help move through it. But have you ever experienced things like that?
I always like to say my parents loved Jesus, and that's what I really soaked in from them above all the other issues or religiosity or just corruption that has happened in the church as a whole. Like my parents really solidified what it meant to love Jesus, and so I'm so grateful for that. That became an anchor for me. But I was not like necessarily, I did not dodge all of the hard parts of the church and ministry that come up at all. And I think the biggest learning curve for me was, who am I in Jesus when I am not excellent as a human or able to worship him with gratitude and joy? Basically, when I'm a disaster and a mess, who am I in Jesus when that's the case? And
so when you're normal, who is Jesus, right? Because we're all.
But it's funny how we don't think that's normal,
right?
I just remember a lot of that stuff was avoided or very taboo in the church. I struggled a ton with my mental health. Since I was like a little girl, I struggled with obsessive compulsive disorder, which is just a level of neurodivergence that anxiety disorder. It makes it really hard to exist sometimes. I would feel very safe in the performative sense, where like when I was performing on stage or on the basketball court, that's when I felt the safest. But every aspect of life outside of that was really debilitating. And I always kind of white knuckled, like, why can't I just like connect with God? Why does my mind feel like my enemy?
Hmm.
Why can't I just choose joy? And
It's because the enemy is
um,
trying to silence the poet inside you, the words that God's trying to release inside you.
well, it's like Jesus is never, he does not repel or mess. And I
Hmm.
think that's sometimes not communicated with clarity in the church. He's actually a magnet to our mess. Like his heart is compassionate. I think it's like the word compassion in the New Testament in its original language actually means like your literal gut. Like his gut would lunge forward to the broken. It was a
Hmm.
very like part of the essence of who Jesus was and
Yeah.
is. And I had to become a total mess and invite Jesus in to actually experience that and realize this is closeness with the Lord.
Right.
He loves me in this. He draws near when I am like have nothing to give. I think that's just a missing component in the Western church. However, with this new generation and even this essence of like social media and people able to have a voice at all times, we're starting to see that people hunger authenticity. And when they do, they experience Jesus in this way that's so transformative. And so
Wow.
the whole ship is turning, I think, in the church.
Mm.
But it's messy when it does. It's like cleaning out a closet. It gets way messier before it gets better.
Right. Right.
But I think that's the root of where my songs came from, and hopefully the ministry they do help people know that being a mess with Jesus is the safest place you can be.
So I noticed that you have a healthy attitude in your delivery. I think is the best way to say it. It reminds me of a certain secular artist out there, and I don't know if you've ever gotten this. Have you gotten, man, you sound like Kesha.
I have people comment that,
Awesome.
which is weird, but I'm like, okay.
That's the first thing. So I hadn't heard any of your stuff until I came back here about 2 years ago, and IDK was playing. I don't know, or however you announce that. It was playing, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this totally sounds like Kesha. So
Yes.
my kids they latched onto it, and we joke about it around here all the time too. When you guys agreed to go ahead and be our artist of the month, I got a few more songs out of you, and I'm like, man, like just I love your delivery. It's not to say it, you know, it's not positive and encouraging. It's actually like real life attitude, and even the way that you introduce the funk version of
Liar.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the way you introduce that, even I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just punching people in the face.
It's goofy for sure. But someone's got to do it.
It's
So
so real. Like it's so awesome that you do that. I want to say thank you for doing that, being real enough to do that. A lot of people shy away from that particular bluntness, I guess you could say. So, well, how do you feel about being called out like that? Like, you know, hey, you sound like this girl.
a lot of people will compare me to like Olivia Rodrigo or Billie Eilish, and they'll
Hmm.
always be like, the Christian version of XYZ.
Right.
And I'm not here to be like, don't compare me to that.
Yeah.
Because people, it's kind of a norm in the CCM world to kind of be like, they're the Christian version of this. I personally am like, I don't like it.
Right.
But I think I'm just like, it feels like it's saying you're the Walmart version of this or something like kind of like cheaper. And I'm like, I love to provide great lyrics that help people
Yeah.
point them back to Jesus, but I hope that it's just this sounds like Allison Eide and that's it.
Right.
Um,
There is
I
that.
think
Yeah.
I think people tie it together because the lyrics are very authentic,
Mm.
hopefully, and um, people are really hungering that, and so they kind of just will create connections in
Right.
their world as they understand it. So.
So, do you have a family? Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you take them on tour? What's
I am engaged, so I get married this year
awesome? Well,
to
congratulations on
the
behalf
most
of everybody here.
incredible man. Thank you. I'm so excited, so ready. It has been a beautiful journey. His name's Evan. He's incredible. If
That's
you come to
awesome.
my show, you'll probably see him at some point. So
Does he tour with you, or does he stay back and do his thing?
he has some career endeavors that are awesome and he's going for and like doing really well in. So he's focused on a lot of that too. And I love that I get to go support him there. But he 3 times now, I think, have surprised me at shows on tour. He'll fly out and just like be there.
Oh, wow.
So it's really sweet. We'd love to travel together. Like we love teaming up and doing things together, but right now we're like kind of building and getting ready for a wedding and marriage and everything. It's like we're on the grind.
I
We're
get you.
building.
I fully understand how that goes. Totally understand that. Hey, I'm gonna switch things up a little bit for you. So, there's a 12-year-old girl who is a big fan of you, and she is the daughter of our manager here, fellow talent AJ. Her name is Anna, and she had a question for you. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
All
Yes,
right.
Anna.
All right. So she wants to know. First of all, she really likes your music, but would like to know what inspired you to write IDK.
Girl, here's the story. So that song was never supposed to be released. I when I wrote it originally, it was with my producer. It was at 11 p.m. We were just creating
It was just a
we were
joke,
trying to
right?
it was, and I was literally on the couch, like had period cramps. I was so existential about myself, and I was like, "What if no one loves me? What if they hate me?" And then we wrote that in the bridge, and I said, "That's so funny. It will never see the light of day." And then a week before we were gonna release the next single, which was a different song,
Mhm.
I was like, "I feel like I need to release IDK, but I feel like it's a horrible, cringy song. No one's gonna like it." So, but I felt the Lord was clear about it. And so, with so much anxiety, I was like, here's the song. Released it, posted it on Instagram and TikTok, and here we are. So,
Wow.
I think it's like the funny thing was, I was like, I'm going to ruin my career if I release this. Like, what if it's bad? What if no one likes it? I don't know.
I don't know.
So, its name.
It's an awesome anthem, let me tell you that. And that's an awesome story. I love it. All right, Anna, you got your answer.
Love you, girl, to Anna.
All right, so now this song, I heard it last week. You just nailed it. Chemically Messed Up. Can you tell us about that one?
Yes.
It's like my favorite right now.
Oh, let's go. Me and Wade, my producer, Wade Wenrick, he's like the other half to all these songs. He's
Mhm.
incredible. He and I, it was so funny, like with OCD or ADHD, I'm like this like neurodivergent thing that so many people have. I'm like, imagine being a Christian trying to follow God in all the like structural ways that like neurotypical people are say, like, this
Well,
is
and
the way.
it's hard because, like, older adults are like, "Ah, you had no idea what it was like when I was here. And teens are like, bro, like, it's 20 times worse for us, you know?
Bro, we're overstimulated by so much noise and dopamine withdrawals, and like our brains are just a little screwed up from how the digital age has happened
I
upon us.
mean,
So
it's not drugs that are hurting us anymore. It's everything else.
kind of acts like drugs a little bit, but like I remember I'm such a product of it too, and I'm like, I literally can't even read the Bible for 2 minutes. I feel like a bad human, and I was like, imagine we knew the grace of the Lord even amidst this very unique issue that us in this generation experience. And so
Right.
I wanted to lay it out plain and simple. And like the bridge is my favorite part of that song, and talking about even like these different things, pills and porn. And I'm like, no one in Christian music is saying that. So hopefully no one, it doesn't off put people, but I'm like, imagine hearing that and feeling like, wow, grace extends to me even in stuff like that.
Right.
Like, I just wanted to shed a light on avoidable things and just say it as it is. And I hope that song helps people again come to Jesus authentically. That's always my heart.
I love that. That's really what I get out of all of your songs is the authenticity of where you're coming from. You're not trying to pitch a studio model, a studio formula. It sounds like you're just like, hey, this is me. Get over it, or not. And so I personally, as an artist myself, I personally appreciate that on your behalf. So, and then to maintain speaking out for Jesus while you're doing that, that's also an incredible feat because a lot of people waver in their speech. AJ had a question. Your social media, it seems like you blew up on that. Do you have a social media team? Is it all by yourself? What all do you do for your social media to help your marketing in that aspect?
I love social media as a creative outlet. I don't have a team who does it. I just edit the content and post it out there and engage with people. So from start to finish, it's like very hands-on for me.
Hmm.
But I just signed a record deal with an incredible team. And
Awesome.
so I now have a lot of very talented people also like supporting and contributing to the fan experience online. So
Sweet.
yeah, but yeah, just I'm literally on my phone editing content all the time.
So you had a tour, or you're going on tour for April too, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we wanted to, I mean, with IDK just impacting a lot of people, I was like, I really want to be able to give fans an in-person experience with all these songs and shows and stuff. So we wanted to do a headline tour. Just started with a couple dates this spring. So like literally three headline shows, and we're doing one show thing for Liberty University. And then in the fall, we'll be doing a full IDK headline tour.
Sweet.
So that has not been announced yet. You guys,
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Any new music coming up soon? Obviously, you've signed, so obviously there will be some soon.
yes. Right now, we have a couple funk versions coming out on YouTube of That's My Life, IDK for the King.
Hmm.
And after that, we'll be releasing singles again. And there's like a new wave of songs we're so excited to share.
Well, we're
And
excited to
that's
hear.
end of May, beginning of June. We're still figuring it out.
Cool, cool,
But
cool. Yeah, that's how, yeah, labels do that. So I get that. All right. So to kind of close this out, moving into the end anyway, what is your biggest positive about where God has you right now?
he has me on a really unique healing journey. After losing my dad to cancer, he just like the Lord is showing me what it means to truly and fully be a daughter.
In a world that we live in today that still tries to shame and make our women men, there's no shame in being a daughter of God and being a daughter to a man that God's given to be your father either, you know?
Also, no shame in not knowing how to do it either. I'm like,
Amen.
we're not required to have to live up to something. To
Yeah.
be just as we are is exactly what the Lord needs and wants. It's just counter what we've been molded to live like in our Western culture. So it's extremely uncomfortable to just
Right.
be. But yeah,
Wow. Okay. All right. So last question. You have an opportunity right now to speak to terrestrially 70 stations nationwide. We are broadcast on multiple platforms as well as our own apps and website. Hundreds of thousands of listeners listen. What do you have to say in your heart to all of these people? Because it's your moment now.
Jesus does not repel our mess. He is an absolute magnet to our mess. The more disgusting and broken we are, the faster and the closer that he draws near to us. And the moment we finally get to experience that is when life becomes very free and full of joy. But it's okay if you don't know how to do it right now. One step.
Wow. Man, Allison, it's been a great time talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on today and being a part of what we do. Thanks for being an artist of the month. I'm super happy to pump you up for the rest of the month and partnering up with Effect Radio. We definitely appreciate that. Keep warring for the kingdom like you're doing. Keep battling out there for all of us, and we appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much.